3 years ago, my trusted business partner systematically stole $18,000 from our shared accounts, poached our best clients, and tried to destroy my reputation while I was dealing with a family emergency. If I had known then what I'm sharing with you today, that betrayal would have made me richer instead of poorer. I'm Madison Clark, author of Served Cold: 20 Stories of Perfect Revenge, and today I'm sharing the 3 insights I wish someone had told me before my business partner showed his true character. First insight I wish I'd known. Business betrayers always steal from the most profitable parts of your operation first. When my partner David started embezzling, he targeted our highest margin services and premium client accounts. At the time, I thought this was random theft motivated by personal financial problems. I was wrong. David was conducting market research through theft. He was identifying our most valuable assets, our strongest client relationships, and our most profitable service offerings. Then he used that intelligence to compete against me when he started his own company. If I had understood this pattern, I would have recognized that David's theft was actually a detailed map of our business's most valuable elements. Instead of just trying to recover stolen money, I could have used his theft patterns to identify and protect our core profit centers. Second insight that would have changed everything. Partnership betrayal is always preceded by isolation tactics. 6 months before David's theft was discovered, he started suggesting that I should focus on creative work while he handled boring business operations like client relationships and financial management. I thought David was being considerate of my strengths and preferences. Actually, he was systematically removing me from client contact and financial oversight so he could steal more effectively. By the time I discovered the theft, he had already poisoned several client relationships by suggesting I was unreliable and difficult to work with. If I had recognized this isolation pattern, I would have maintained direct client relationships and financial oversight regardless of David's suggestions. The theft would have been impossible to execute and easier to detect immediately. Third insight that cost me the most. Business betrayers always have an exit strategy planned before they start stealing. David didn't embezzle money impulsively. He had been planning to start a competing business for months and was using our partnership as a training ground and client acquisition system. When I finally discovered the theft and confronted David, he had already secured office space, hired 2 employees, and signed contracts with 3 of our former clients. David's betrayal wasn't about money problems. It was about business acquisition using theft as startup capital. If I had understood that partnership betrayal is usually business espionage disguised as friendship, I would have been monitoring for competitive intelligence gathering instead of just watching for financial irregularities. Here's what I learned too late. David's betrayal actually revealed more value than he stole, but only if I had been smart enough to recognize the intelligence he was providing through his theft patterns. Compare my experience to Rebecca, whose story is detailed in my book, Served Cold. When Rebecca discovered her wellness center partner was embezzling funds, she didn't just seek recovery. She used his theft patterns to identify her most profitable services and strongest client relationships. Rebecca realized her partner had been stealing from their highest value offerings, which meant those were the services she should focus on in her independent practice. She used his criminal market research to build a more successful solo business than their partnership had ever achieved. Within 6 months, Rebecca's new practice was making 40% more revenue because she was focusing exclusively on the high-profit services her partner had identified through his theft, without splitting profits with someone who was actively stealing from their success. The lesson I wish I'd learned earlier. Business betrayal often contains the blueprint for business success, but only if you're strategic about how you analyze and respond to it. The methodology for turning partnership betrayal into competitive advantage is detailed across multiple stories in Served Cold. Every protagonist who succeeds learns to see betrayal as unwanted market research rather than just theft. The book is $2.99 on Kindle, and it could save you from making the same expensive mistakes I made. More importantly, it could help you turn business betrayal into business opportunity. If someone is betraying you in business, Don't just focus on recovery. Focus on intelligence. What are they stealing? Why those specific elements? How can you use their theft patterns to identify your most valuable assets? Click the link below and get served cold now. Learn how to recognize betrayal patterns early, protect your most valuable assets, and turn partnership problems into competitive advantages. Because the best response to business betrayal isn't just getting your money back, it's building a better business from the intelligence they accidentally provided.